you don't find your identity beyond yourself. You look within.
Yeah.
So you become like a god in that sense. You become your own god. Yeah. And then I guess whatever whims your body wants to have, then you kind of like follow them, because then that's your religion, that's your spirituality.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Anyway, thanks guys. Welcome back. We were just having a small tete-a-tete. Yeah, with Konene here before we started. She's of the opinion that Reddit is for at least from the guy's perspective, it's for those nerdy queer people. So she was saying she's not queer. She's just bi herself. Yeah, it is well. Anyway, so today it's just me and her. Just the two of us. Hey. It is well.
With your soul.
Yeah, it is well in my soul, man. Yeah, so I think for the new people here, karibuni sana. She's Konene. My name is Ireriwa Irugi. He was a seer from the Embu culture. The Embu tribe. And his story is that he foresaw that these guys would come with a magic stick that would control all peoples. Yeah, that's what he thought. But Konene, I was thinking, like, can you imagine what these guys used to smoke for you to see such visions? Like, umetulia tu mahali, and then, you're thinking and you're like, there'll be some pale-skinned motherfucker who'll come and he'll...
But it's just like, I think it still is here. It's just like right now we have, to introduce you a missionary story, a religion. We talk of it as prophecy.
Okay, so we embodied that type of prophecy. We moved away from the traditional perspective. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. What do you know about your culture, by the way? To what extent, to what degree?
I know the stereotypes.
That doesn't count, man. That doesn't count.
I know the rules. I know some of the absurd rules that, okay, not absurd, a bit unique rules we have in our culture that probably have faded out but still are practiced if you go back to the rural areas. We have also vices, like for example FGM. It was very widely practiced in our culture. In some parts of Meru, you'll still find a few people practicing. But then I think the agencies that really work hard to try and stop FGM have really penetrated.
They've done a good...
Yeah, so it's like one in a million cases nowadays. Your choice of words
is horrendous there. Agencies tasked with FGM have really what?
Penetrated. Hey, you.
That was a nasty choice of
words.
Right?
Wherever he was yesterday, I was innocently speaking. Please, leave me alone.
No. It's language.
Yeah.
And how language, we can use it to mean one thing or the other thing. Anyway.
I think the one I love about our culture is when a woman back in the day would get pregnant out of wedlock. That is, okay, before weddings, before they get married, before somebody comes and pays the dowry, the guy who's responsible for that pregnancy would be called by the elders, asked if they want the woman and the child. He can pick to not take the woman, but the child is automatically his.
Okay.
So, to not burden the woman in a way that she cannot get married, you'll take your child and leave. You can decide to take the woman and get married and do the thing as a family. That's okay. But you were given a choice of, do you want the woman or not? If you don't want the woman, take your child, leave. And growing up, I even have relatives, cousins who don't know their mothers because the fathers maybe said, no, that was not my woman. It was an oops. So I'll take the child, I'll bear the child, but I don't want to be married by the woman. And the women would weirdly let it happen. Like right now, if you tell me I leave my child, yeah,
tricky.
We're gonna fight. Yeah.
Did you have Okay. I think in Kikuyu culture there was something similar. At the best to my, I think I was talking to my grandfather about it, and he was saying that such a woman would only be a second wife. They can never be a first wife. And there was a term for them actually. I think they were called joki. That was the name that they were given, because the Kikuyu phrase is ushokia. So if you conjugate it, then you know the person who has been returned. Yeah, so to speak.
I think it would also happen the same, but not every time. I think most of them just got married normally.
Oh,
and
on your side.
then probably later you tell them, but I had a child. And I think the men already knew this tradition was already there. So it's for you to ask. If you don't ask,
Shauri yako.
shauri yako.
It is well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still want whatever those guys used to smoke, and they sit and they're like, "Ugh."
I think they used to take the mushrooms without investigating them properly.
But then now that you've mentioned that element of child out of wedlock, so to speak, then I guess given the topic of the day, we can even just jump right into it. And then thank you for the audience, because you guys gave us a very interesting topic. It's kids or career. Is it choice or sacrifice or something like that?
Yeah. What will you choose? What will you sacrifice?
What will you choose or what will you sacrifice? So now we'll go and just jump right into it. And why?
Can we start with you?
Can you start with me?
Yeah, because I feel like everybody's gonna wait for what I'm gonna say.
Fairs. So we start with the boring guy and then we go to the babe.
Mine will be controversial as usual. But yeah.
Okay, I think for me, it's not one or the other. It's one after the other. And I was having this conversation with an older lady, and she pointed out something. She said that it's so interesting how for guys, certain things work in silos. So it's not I get a job, while I'm in the job I get a wife, while I'm in, we get a kids and stuff. Like no. For the guys, I need to get a job, done, settled. I need to get a car, done, settled. I need to get a house, done, settled. And now I get a wife. And by the way, ladies, this is how you time a guy. If you want to know whether this talking stage of yours is going to be eternal and it's going to last forever, because of course it's a multivariate assessment. There are so many things that you look into, but timing is everything. If this guy doesn't feel like he's not ready to settle down, then I think it'll be difficult, given all the effort and acts of service and whatever you're putting in, for him to say, okay, fine, I'm gonna, like, this is it for me. And that's why, you look, there'll be people who'll date for like 2-3 years, and the relationship starts on a high, gets strained, then it dies, then immediately it ends. There's someone else in 6 months, and then that 6 months, in another 6 months, have been proposed to. So it's not that you weren't enough. It's about timing. The timing was just completely off. For guys, they normally ask themselves two things: is she the right babe? Or is it the right time? So it could be the right babe, wrong time. It could be the right time, wrong babe. It could be the wrong babe, wrong time. But the best and line of fit is normally the right babe at the right time. I digress. So, kids or career, I think for the guy, at least our African society, still being so traditional and patriarchal and stuff, there's still that expectation for the man to be the provider. Like that's set and forget and stuff like that. So it's very difficult for me to start thinking about having kids when I can't sustain myself. So personally, on a personal level, that's what it is. And of course, there'll be people who'll be like, yeah, you'll never be fully prepared. Yeah, no, and all these things. But you see, the cards that now our generation keeps on being dealt with, it's much more complex than the previous generations, because these guys, they like to skirt away from the conversation about the economy and money and stuff like that. There's a very big difference between the real and the ideal. So the ideal is mtoto analetwa na sahani yake. In Spain, they say that every child is born with a loaf of bread under the armpit. That's fantastic. But now, super loaf is 65 shillings, man. It's like breakfast, you're living... Okay, we used to live like $1 for breakfast, type of... Anyway, poverty line. You look at it and you're like, it's really expensive. Because utaka hapo na hiyo King's Meal, slice 10, then mkate isha. And you have to spend an hour. And then the milk is 65 and it's something consistent. You add all these things up and stuff like that. And it's not like the employers are also adjusting significantly, because for them, their businesses are centered around making profits. It's not about making you rich. It's about the profits. So they'll breadcrumb you to some degree. So you have to put yourself out to make ends meet. So if I'm struggling, so I have an 8 to 5, and then I have gigs left, right, and center, to make ends meet, to give myself a comfortable life, to give my future family a comfortable life, I don't have the time to raise a child, unfortunately, in that reality. Because, say for instance, yesterday nilikuwa Meru. Nimerudi kwa nyumba 1. Niko hapa. You look at now the previous day, I had like an 16-hour work day. I was getting home at 1 as well. And the nature of my work, that's something that's very consistent. So at what point am I going to be there to help the mother of the child, help the nini and stuff like that? So to that degree, I don't plan on chasing the bag eternally. So I plan on making it, this is now my perspective, I plan on making sacrifices for 2-3 years. Then I have, like, nitakuwa kwa nyumba on a Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, because I'm working remotely and stuff like that. So nachukua mtoi, if I'm sleeping at 6 a.m. because the kid has refused to sleep, that's not really a problem, because maybe my first meeting is 2:00 and I don't have anything to, so I can even rest and stuff. So the quality of life improves. But again, it's also a delicate balance, because you also don't want, given your life expectancy, you don't want your kid to be mid-20s and then they don't have a dad, because like you've disappeared, because you waited until you're too late. So I'm always conscious of that, and I always have these conversations with my dad regarding the same. But him is normally supportive. He says, if you don't want to have children, just make sure you build a very nice nursing home. Because the nursing homes locally, they're nasty and stuff like that. There'll be no one to take care of you. That's a reality.
True.
So, but if you also want to have kids, then you need to realize that there's a lot that goes into that perspective. And you don't want your kids are running around the house and, you can't even chase after them because and then your leg breaks and, you're just walking like on a limp and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's career than kids.
I think you were deep. That's why I thought I'd get ideas from you.
You're cheating. Wewe na Owen mnakuanga nini? Oh, by the way, hatujasema Owen ako wapi.
Owen ako wapi?
Ni vizuri. Owen, where are you? Kuja utuambie bana. Hatujui. Hata sisi hatujui.
We hope wherever he is, he's fine.
He's fine,
Yeah. Okay, for me, it's hard. It's hard to choose, because I think all my life I was in a weird place where I didn't know what I'm doing or where I'm going to go. I made decisions out of it's expected of me. And then I think past 25 is when I started realizing, by the way, I'm the pilot of this ship. I'm like...
It's your life.
It's my life. So whatever decisions I'm making are actually going to affect what it's going to be like. And I think younger me didn't think I was going to live this long. Weirdly. Like, have you you imagine yourself at another age and you're like, you're looking at it, you have a car, you have kids. You see, like those small imaginary things. I never used to have them. My life was
Firstborn,
today.
lastborn.
Yeah, my life was today. That's it. Tomorrow itajipa.
Firstborn,
Then
lastborn.
now, if you ask me this, honey, I gotta tell you, I don't want kids. I don't think I want kids because I've experienced the best and worst of having kids.
Oh, you don't want kids?
That was the last year.
Oh, that was last year. Okay.
That was last year. This year,
You know your nephew watches this.
I have
Your nephew is going to be watching this.
It's okay.
And he's like, think about your life. He was primarily the core of this.
No, not like that. It's just more of, for women, once you start having children, your life simply, it's like we say your life dwindles more, as in, I don't know how I want to say this. It's like your life stops. It's not about these human beings you brought to the child. So you see, the things you could do because you don't have responsibilities, you don't have a human being, you can't do. How I think right now, right now I'm thinking, oh, where am I going to get a bed? I want a bed that is maybe 5x6. My sister who has kids is thinking, are my children awake? What are they going to have for breakfast? Ahead today, what are the activities we're going to do? What are we going to eat for lunch? Like, there's never a time I hear her saying, I want. It's more of the children need to, or the children have, or the children should, or the children need. Stop it. You get? So that for the longest time made me feel like I'm not yet ready to surrender my life because I barely have my life together to be able to bring another human being to this world. Okay. Then part of last year and this year happened. I started spending more time with my sister's children more than I normally used to do.
Okay.
And it was joyous. It was really joyous. Even when I always tell her you forget about yourself, it's not like she's sad about it. She's happy because she's like, I don't think there's a love I've ever experienced better than what I'm experiencing with these children. And I thought it's just something people say till last week, one of our friends gave birth. And I went to see her in the delivery room just a few hours before the delivery, just tell her, Mama, you'll be fine. And she was in pain. She didn't even want to see me there. She was like, hey, please don't come tell me those things. I'll be fine. Tell the doctor I need painkillers or something. Me, I'm in pain. 2 hours later, the baby is crying. The way she held that baby.
Like it switches.
Like it was such a switch.
Yeah.
I asked her, are you still in pain? She's like, I even forgot I was in pain.
Yeah. That's a common characteristic.
Exactly. And for the whole week, we kept on going to just
was
check
the
up
baby
on
there?
her. Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty
She
sure.
even has a switch. Like,
Ameulizwa, when is the next one coming along? Guaranteed.
I know. I don't think anyone has. It's just even for him.
No, in the private conversations, because that's a common characteristic.
Yeah.
But it also depends if the guy is doing a good job as well.
He is. I could give him his props. I think for me, what changes within that week, I experienced a different side of my friend that I had never seen in like the 6-8 years I've known her.
Question. So do you think that it's not that your life stops, that becomes your life? Like it becomes a transition, like you move into something different. And I think it's again also an issue of perspective. We need to change what we see so that what we see changes. I think of how the culture, because listening to you, one thing became very clear. We don't have a culture of family in how do I put it, in Africa anymore. Okay, at least the modern society and stuff like that. Because back Yeshagi,
Very
still
much.
It's
this is why we keep being forced to go for those family get-togethers, and don't see why.
You see, so like we need to have that family culture because ultimately, even from an African traditional perspective, your peak as a man is your family. That was it's not how many cows you had, how many pieces of land, how many wars you fought and stuff like that. It is your family. I have all these children, and stuff like that. And I guess to some degree that also gave the purpose to the women. They felt that security and that validation that I am a part of this, I'm a part of something greater, the identity greater than myself. I think it's good that culture maintains, at least in some of us, because again, it's not, I don't think everyone should be a parent. There's people who
Definitely.
they
Definitely.
they're better off giving love from the peripheries.
Yeah.
That's for them. You'll have that auntie, maybe their kids would be traumatized, because of their absence and stuff like that. But when the way they take care of their sister's kids, of their, of their cousins' kids and stuff like that, then like you can clearly see like this is your calling, this is your purpose and stuff like that. But at least for those of us who have that desire, for those of us who are working towards it, at least, yeah, I think it's good. It's fantastic.
What you've made very clear to me now that you say that is the reason why maybe I feared is because I thought the foundation of a family is just me and the children. I didn't think that having the father figure would give me a comfortable environment,
that security
for me to actually thrive as a mother.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from.
Yeah.
That's this kid's job.
Yeah.
And as a guy, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's I'll wake up in the morning. I don't feel like going. You see, if I'm waking up in the morning, I don't feel like going to work. Whether I eat or not, at the end of the day, it's gonna be me. So I can bash myself. But you see, if I wake up and Lian, shout out to Baba Lian and Mama Lian, you guys are great parents. You're doing a fantastic job. Lian doesn't have kids. They doesn't have food. Man, you wake up. You'll wake up, you'll go, you'll take a cold shower, and you get to the office, and you'll grind and stuff like that. Yeah. So giving yourself up to something greater than yourself.
I think then my answer is, for now, I think I'm on a career path. I'm more of growing myself. I want comfort. I keep joking that I don't want my kids to go to Kenyan system of schooling, but it's actually something.
That's not a joke.
It's in my core.
That's something you're working
towards. I want when I bring forth my offsprings, they're gonna experience the best in life, and I hope they do not. There's some people who experience the best in life and decide to queerable, like they become the most useless part of society because they're used to having it all. No, I'm just praying for the grace and the wisdom to be able to raise these kids to have enough, but at the same time raise them in a way they realize that every day their choices are what shape them in the future. And it's better being a better person in society than being a nuisance in society.
Yeah Definitely.
Yeah, but if I get the sustainability that I need, if I do have a partner who makes me feel like I'm grounded, I'd even easily become a housewife. As much as I very much love my work, I'd easily even decide, you know what, let me take care of the children, because I feel like I have the foundation. I have the head of the house that is going to make everything okay. I don't have to also wake up in the morning and worry. We both have to go to the office. But mtoto ameachwa na basi, tukapo tuna fight who's going to take the child to school, because now it's more of a chore than a responsibility. Yeah, so it's 50-50. But I feel like motherhood is the best thing that would ever happen to anyone. I have seen it in people, and I think I want to experience it.
Same, yeah. I think that's the only hood I live in. Parenthood.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, more so gentlemen, if meskia Konene side of things, so if you want to go into a DM and stuff like that, you know what you need to come packing, just
like kusema na kutenda, because many
definitely
they never do it.
So your actions need to speak much much louder than your words and stuff like that. For me, as per usual, you guys never take me seriously, so it is what it is. My boys don't take me seriously. They say we listen to your podcast and we're like, you're an idiot, And I'm like, so I'll name and shame one day. At our live show. At our live show. But this it tunafaa kuwa na live show.
Yeah.
Tulisema mwisho wa mwaka.
Yeah.
Kisa unakuwa unaishi Naivasha.
Ushaambia watu kwa podcast bwana.
Oh, oops. Tutakata na tutasnip. Anyway.
It's a very small,
Thanks guys for joining us for this episode. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.